Hey, it's Karri Flatla here at Remax Real Estate Lethbridge and KarriFlatla.com. So happy 2021. It's finally here and 2020 is finally behind us. We have a long way to go, but the end is in sight with COVID-19, I think. So I've had some rest. I'm back in the saddle, ready to rock and roll with real estate in Lethbridge, and I wanted to just sort of give you my reflections and summary on what the market did in Lethbridge in 2020 and where things are today and where I think we're going in 2021. So it's kind of exciting. I think there's lots of good news on the horizon here, and I'm a realist with an optimistic edge. So I've got the stats here, and I wanted to go over some of the numbers with you and hopefully provide a little bit of insight about where things are at in real estate. I think it's a really exciting time in real estate. I've been doing this for over 8 years, and I've just never seen so many exciting things happening. The one thing that jumps out of all the statistics for real estate right now in Lethbridge is the decreasing inventory. It's remarkable. Now, my colleagues in Toronto and the GTA and Vancouver would find these numbers terrifying in terms of inventory levels because they're used to having almost no inventory. But for Lethbridge, we have been accustomed to a fairly, I would say, balanced towards soft buyer's market over the last number of years. Lots of reasons for that, but two big things were the changing mortgage rules. The feds implemented some new criteria for qualifying for a mortgage for first-time home buyers and then for conventional borrowers. That was around 2016, 17, somewhere in there. And that kind of put a drag on the market. And the other thing in Lethbridge is, we're a stable market because we have a diversified economy and high public sector employment, but our new construction market here for a long time was quite saturated. For lots of different reasons, the builders really were saturating the market, no offense builders, and so homeowners were finding themselves constantly in competition with brand new product down the street, and that made things difficult for homeowners. We have seen the builders pull back on permitting, and so those new construction properties have come right down and everything's kind of coming back into balance here. So we currently have in the city of Lethbridge just under 4 months of inventory, and that is a far more balanced market than I've ever seen, quite frankly. Since the early 2000s, before I was a realtor, when things were crazy and there was less than 200 listings on the market. Probably not ever going to see that again, but never say never. I'm used to seeing like 700, 800 listings in Lethbridge, and we are under 500 listings right now. So about 3.8, 3.9 months of inventory. That is really good news across the board. Now, if you're a buyer, there's tons of good news too, because interest rates are insane. Buyers are getting 2 and less than 2% interest rates for a mortgage right now. HSBC for certain buyers, I believe, is offering 0.99% on some mortgages. Talk to your mortgage broker and get some advice there, but there is, if you're waiting for interest rates to go down, I don't know what you're waiting for. So the other thing I think that's affecting the real estate mood and the market, and we saw this in 2020, is people are spending more time at home, and I think this is going to be a trend that sticks. So the pandemic hit in March officially. Everything went into lockdown. We had about a month of great uncertainty. Nobody knew what was going to happen in the economy. And then, despite all predictions and all conventional wisdom, including mine, real estate went into what they're calling a V-shaped recovery. So it went like this, everyone stopped all activity, and then it just went like that. That is not what happened in many other sectors of the economy, but real estate came back with a vengeance in the summer of 2020, and I mean a vengeance. So usually we have a robust spring market in March, April, May, but last year the pandemic hit, everything had the brakes put on, and then by June, July, we had our spring market, even though it was summer. So it was kind of crazy, kind of interesting. But here's the other side of that story, is that it just stayed busy. It stayed busy right through the winter, through -20, through Christmas. Phone kept ringing. I mean, there's a few days over there, I guess, where people maybe were taking a few days off. People certainly aren't traveling as much or visiting people. But on Carmen and my side of the desk, people just aren't hesitating now. They are ready to make decisions about the real estate. So I haven't seen that, in my career. Usually over December, January, you see a little bit of a lull. There are still people buying and selling homes. The momentum is not stopping. So that's really exciting. A few other interesting stats. Average price, obviously, when you see inventory come down, supplies coming down, and demand has remained steady, if not higher, because of these low interest rates and COVID and people placing more value on their lifestyle at home. We're seeing the prices go up a little bit. Now, maybe not so much to write home about, but we definitely have some buoyancy in home prices. So year over year, from 2019 to 2020, we saw about a 4% increase in average prices on residential property in the city of Lethbridge. That's great news. That is great news for homeowners. And it's great news for buyers because prices aren't going up so fast that it can't be supported by the market. So buyers are going to do okay here. It's more than offset by the fact that you can get such a great interest rate on a mortgage. And I'm also advising buyers right now. Usually we don't see this until spring, but there's pretty low inventory on some of those entry-level price ranges. The good houses aren't sitting. The well-positioned houses aren't sitting. The houses in the 200s and 300s, they're well-priced, they show great, and they're not sitting. There's just not hundreds of homes to choose from in a price range the way there used to be. So if you love it, somebody else loves it, and you need to pull the trigger and make an offer. One statistic I thought was also interesting, and that a little bit of a head scratcher from my point of view as a listing agent, is that the days on market hasn't really changed a lot. In fact, it's been trending upward over the last few years. So where we used to see average days on market in Lethbridge, 60 some, 70 some days on market, which in my opinion is long. Again, my friends in Toronto and Vancouver would have a heart attack. Now we're seeing it more like in the 80s, 80 some days on market. The last stat I pulled said average days to sell was 83. So it is going up, and it's been stable the last couple years, but it's trended up. Now it's sitting in the 80s like that, and I'm not totally sure why. My approach, and I think I'm going to do some videos about this in future Friday Fire episodes, is first 30 days is the magic. And as a homeowner, as a listing agent, our shared goal should always be to try and captivate the market right away and get an offer in the first 30 days. That is when you get your highest quality buyer, your most urgent buyer, and that is when you are in a far stronger position as the seller if you get an offer in that first 30 days. Once you get into 60-day territory, 90-day territory, the listing just doesn't read the same. The value doesn't read the same to the market. So definitely worth some more conversation about. You want to get an offer quickly, so really give that some thought, especially in a market like this. There is no reason in my mind for a house to be sitting in such a balanced market, robust market in certain price points and locations. So those are kind of the numbers right now. I think it's a great time to buy or sell. It's just great news all the way around for real estate in Lethbridge. If you have any questions about what's happening, give us a call. We'd be happy to walk you through it. 2021 is going to be, again, I hate to make predictions, and I try not to claim that I can predict the future. I've been wrong before. But I think this momentum is going to last for a while. And if anything, I think we're going to see a bit of a slingshot here as more people get vaccinated, as hopefully things open up in the economy a little bit and people's confidence starts to increase. It has been a brutally tough year for certain sectors of the economy, and that does concern me. So some of our small business owners have really taken the brunt of COVID. And that's tough. So for goodness sake, buy local whenever you can. I know we're all ordering online and buying from Amazon, but gosh, if there's something you can buy at a local shop, do it. And yeah, I think, hope is on the horizon. We're seeing vaccinations roll out across the country, in all the jurisdictions. And it's good news. I mean, vaccinations are kind of the key to all of this, if we don't find other treatments for COVID. So, gosh, if, by fall, if a good portion of the population is vaccinated, I just can't imagine what that's going to mean for the economy. I think there's some pent-up demand there. So anyway, you can't time the market. If you have to sell a house, this is as good, strong of an economy as I've ever seen in real estate. And if you need to buy, everything's in your favor right now as well. So 3827335 if you'd like a consultation, or you can go to karriflatla.com, see what we're all about. 5-star service and results all the way, and we'd love to help you. In the meantime, have a terrific weekend. It's beautiful outside for the middle of February, and we'll see you for next Friday Fire. Take care.